Over the last couple of years, we have logged nearly 8,000 nautical miles. We have been as far north as the Bay of Los Angeles and the Sea of Cortez, explored the beautiful anchorages around Loreto, hopped from the Baja to the mainland from La Paz to Mazatlan, hauled out for some projects near Puerto Vallarta, spent Christmas in Barra de Navidad, participated in Sailfest in Zihuatanejo, and then crossed the infamous Tehuantepec Pass over to Chiapas. We endured the Papagayo winds of Central America to explore the anchorages of Costa Rica, said farewell to the Pacific Ocean as we crossed the Panama Canal and got our first taste of the Caribbean in the gorgeous San Blas Islands. After which, we sailed up to our adopted hometown of Bocas del Toro, where we caught up with friends and assembled a crew to take on our longest passage, seeking protection from the summer storms in Rio Dulce, Guatemala. But not before spending family time diving the reefs of Belize. Finally, navigating to our last stop of the season in Isla Mujeres, Mexico. A beautiful, laid-back, cruiser-friendly island off the coast of Cancun, where we got off the boat, unwound, reinvigorated our gypsy souls, and now we are preparing Vida Gypsea for new adventures. Back on the boat and back to the projects. There were a lot of projects that I knew I was going to have to hit, and then some when we got back that I wasn't expecting. But this one today I'm working on, I was expecting. We had an issue over the last few passages, the last few months that we were sailing, where we had a leak in one of our engine bilges. We kept collecting water in there, and I finally isolated it down to a hose. We had a hose on the engine that got a cut in it. Just cut right through the hose here over the last 6.5 years, because as you can see on the date there, this hose was installed in 2017. Now in 2024, so it made it 6.5 years before the vibrations cut through this pipe. But what did it is there's a little bracket that holds that hose in place, and this is the little bracket, and it looks to me like maybe this bracket has corroded. I think maybe originally it had probably some foam or some sort of rubber around it that kept it from chafing the hose, but now it's nothing but rust, and it's like a serrated knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this thing down, repaint it, wrap some tape around it to make it not so abrasive, and install our new hose. I've now put February of 24 onto this hose so that I will know how many years I get out of this hose as well. I didn't really need to paint this piece much because I ended up wrapping the whole thing in like a PVC pipe wrapping tape. So now it's pretty rubberized, pretty soft, so it should not eat into the new hose. So I'm going to get this mounted and screw the hose back on, and we should be all finished up for this project. All right, I mentioned we had some projects that we expected when we got back, but we also had a few surprises when we got back. And one of those surprises is that while we were gone, we lost our wind vane off the top of the mast. Somehow or another, it came off the top of the mast, and it fell off the top of the mast and punctured my brand new vinyl top that I had sewn in Guatemala this summer. Can you believe that? We are getting closer to casting off the lines, but the weather has other plans for us. Northers continue to push down from the U.S., bringing heavy winds and waves, making it impossible to leave. We witnessed more than one boat drag into the shallows and into the mangroves. It is important for us to find a good weather window of at least 3 days. Our next hop is a 350 nautical mile sail from Isla Mujeres to Key West, Florida.
After thinking about it and talking about it, there's just way too many variables to leave this weekend, which kind of sucks because I am still working and we are trying very hard to save up some money. We spent a lot of money being here, so I need to work. So we were trying to leave on the weekend so that I don't have to take time off. But it seems like now we're just going to have to leave whenever it's the time to leave, and then we'll deal with the consequences of money loss later. But whatever, we'll figure it out. I guess this gives us enough time to finish our projects. That's an optimistic way of thinking. And maybe I can work on my Bahama Mama tan since I'm pasty for being stateside for so long. The other money sucker is just staying in this marina, and it was good for us while we were getting ready to go to provision, do laundry and all that stuff. But now that we've got all that stuff kind of done, we want to get out of here to save some money. And of course, our dinghy isn't working. So there's a bay right outside this marina where everybody parks their boat, and it's free, but you need a dinghy to get to shore and be able to do things. It looks like maybe he got it working.
It's running, but it hasn't been running very well for a while, so I've got a couple of spare parts that I think might need to be installed, and I've got other projects to do, so I don't really want to take the time to install them. So if somebody can get over here and help me with that, that would be great.
We are getting off the boat for a bit. I got a break here from work, and we got to get out of there. It's a problem, the land of the problems right now, so we're going to go for a nice walk. It's a beautiful day.
We are taking advantage of the marina water and our last day here at the marina to get Vida Gypsea all cleaned up, get her polished up, get her ready for our big trip down to Florida, or across to Florida. So we're almost ready. I mean, everything's ready, systems-wise, everything's ready. We've got everything clean on the top, but we're not quite ready to leave because I've got to do some work on the bottom. I've got 3 months of growth on the bottom because it's been sitting here, and even though I've got a new bottom job, that still I get that slime growing on there, so I've got to slough that slime off before we get going. But more importantly, I've got a big underwater job that I've got to tackle. I bought a new propeller hub while I was in the States, and I've got to replace a hub on my port propeller because that propeller became out of it corroded a little bit for whatever reason, and it became out of balance. So I've got a new hub, I've got to get that replaced, but I do not have any place to pull this boat out of the water, nor do I want to spend the money to haul it out of the water, which means I've got to go underwater and take off that folding prop piece by piece underwater, and then put the new hub on and rebuild the prop back together. So now I've managed to get the old propeller off piece by piece, and now the job is to get the new one on. I think it's pretty obvious here. I don't know what the material is that they made it there, but you can see that it started to deteriorate. You can see that some of the plastic is gone. It is definitely going to be out of balance. And so that out of balance causes it to wobble and vibrate just a little bit, which is not good for your sail drive, not good for the seals. And it also wobbles out the screws and these zincs. And so I end up losing zincs. It's just not good all the way around. And here you can see an example of the new hub where it's all nice and clean and sealed. And this is going to, and it's nice and shiny as well. But yeah, this is going to solve our problem. I just got to get it on under the boat without dropping this at the bottom of the ocean.
Last day.
Last day. Thank you for everything. We'll see you soon. Hopefully. Maybe. It's not goodbye. It's see you later.
We are still waiting for that elusive weather window, but it is time to get out of the pricey marina. We haven't lived on the hook for months now, so we're kind of excited to settle into the outer anchorage. There is plenty of elbow room in the anchorage, so you can let out as much chain as you need to without fear of swinging into your neighbor. However, the numerous tracks throughout the bay are evidence of the poor holding that this anchorage is known for. For now, we will pray for calm conditions until we get that weather window that we need. We're shaking all the systems out today, guys. We are letting loose the sails and making sure all the systems work before we take that long cross across the Gulf of Mexico. And overall, everything's working okay. We've got a beautiful day today with some nice wind. We're just out here in the little bay between Cancun and Isla Mujeres. However, we do have some nasty mold and mildew on the sails because they've been wrapped up for months. And some issues with fishing equipment. I was going to try to do some fishing today, but actually my fishing poles have seized up, they've corroded, so I got to take those reels apart and oil them so that they're operating correctly. So that's why we do these little quick sails before we get going, so that way we can identify what the problems are before we actually get out there, and we can get them fixed. Now we're just a couple days away before we take the big hop.
The shadows of this quiet town, I see you there, your feathers on the ground. Your eyes are heavy with the weight of the world. What's in a life you never could unfurl?
The time has come to check out of Isla Mujeres and to check out of Mexico. So with documents in hand, I take a quick dinghy trip into town and visit the port captain in the immigration office. We are ready to say adios to the beautiful country of Mexico, a country that exceeded all of our expectations and provided unforgettable memories. I went through the boat and secured everything, closed all the drawers, got everything expensive stowed away because we're expecting to have a little bumpy ride today. The reason being, like I said, the forecast is good. The winds are fairly light. However, we've got some big currents that we're going to be dealing with. First current that we've got is the Yucatan Channel. As we come out of here, we've got the little channel between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula, and there's a big current that runs through there. Then that current becomes the Gulf Stream as we start getting between Cuba and Florida. So these are big currents that we're having to deal with, and today that Yucatan current goes north. Our winds are blowing from the north going south. So when you have winds blowing against your current, it ends up getting pretty choppy, pretty wavy, and you end up bouncing. And so I expect for things to be bouncing around, so we're securing everything the best we can, knowing that we may have a bumpy ride for the next several hours.
Now that I have a break, I am going to try to make some fun little passage food snacks before the boat starts rocking and rolling. I'm going to try to make some cinnamon rolls, and I'm going to try to make some pizza rolls for the passage. We could eat them for breakfast, we could eat them for lunch, we can eat them for dinner. They're just fun snacks to kind of keep the party going. So we need sugar, we need carbs, we need happiness, and we need cinnamon rolls. So let's make them. To multitask. We've got a really tight weather window that we're trying to get through, and Kurt is ready to go. He's turning on the engine, so I guess I'm gonna cinnamon roll and be a skipper at the same time. You ready?
We lift anchor and begin our crossings based on numerous factors including wind and weather, but primarily based on our anticipated speed and time of arrival at our destination. This means that while I am busy sailing, oftentimes Linda gets stuck inside finishing her classes and preparing our meals, which is the last place you want to be during a rolly passage.
This is insane right now. I finished my first batch of, I can't even talk. I finished my first batch of rolls, and now I'm going to make the cinnamon ones, but I think I need to take a quick 5-minute break and go sit down before I continue these rolls because I'm going to throw up on our dinner. So 1 second, please.
Forecast was spot on today. We've got our winds at our nose, or just off the nose. So it's just been motoring. We don't even have a sail up right now. And I've got one engine running, just one, so that we can save some fuel on this passage. But even so, we've been holding speed over ground of 7.5 to 8.5 knots, which is much better than we usually do in calm seas with one engine. And that's because of this current that we've got going through the Yucatan Channel. It seems to be pushing us forward about an extra 3 knots, because I would say we'd be doing about 5.5 knots in these conditions if we're not for this current. So we're making up some good ground, but it's at a cost. The cost is that it's very rough and very wavy. This is like a washing machine out here today. It's always nice when the waves are coming from one direction, but on a day like today, it's from all directions, and you just have to ride it out. It's a little chilly today too. We need the sun to come back out. We love the sea, but as much as we try to tame the sea, it always reminds us that we are ultimately out of our element. The same waves that were tossing us about did not even faze the playful and curious dolphins that came to visit.
Dinner's ready just in time to catch a beautiful sunset behind us. Kurt, first impressions of my pizza rolls? I've never made them before. Give it to me straight. Really?
I like it. Good passage food.
Yeah? Awesome. Day one complete. Nothing crazy happening except this ridiculous current that's been knocking us about all day. But if anything exciting happens tonight, we'll let you know. I'm on first watch. And then it's Kurt, and then it's me, and then it's Kurt, and then it's tomorrow. So we will see you guys tomorrow.
After a restless night shift, I was relieved when the next morning the sea state began to calm. The sun painted the horizon a brilliant orange, and my dolphin buddies came by once again to greet me good morning. Motors are off. We finally got the motors off because the wind has picked up to the point where we can sail, and it's coming in the right direction too. So we're doing 8+ knots on our way to Key West. Sun's up, smile on my face. This is a good reminder of why we chose this sailing life. It's a gorgeous day. Now all I got to do is catch a fish.
Something has been missing this entire time, and I think we've waited long enough to bring it up. The elephant on the boat. Where is your buddy? Your sailing buddy?
My home buddy.
Where's your helm buddy? Anybody want to take any guesses on who we're missing? It's Rigby. Rigby is not on the boat. We have not forgotten to film her. This is not a mistake. She's not here. I think it's time that we tell you guys, where is Rigby? Because I'm sure at this point you've been asking 1,000 times, probably fast forwarding the video and rewinding to see if she'll pop up, but she won't. She is in Texas right now. Unfortunately, a lot of things were the reason why she's not on the boat. Primarily her age. And she's been having a hard time on these passages, especially the last time when we came from Guatemala to Mexico. We could tell she wasn't having a good time. She's having hip dysplasia problems and other things, and we just figured that it would be perfect timing when Kurt's family came for them to take her back to Texas. But we are happy to say that she is doing great. Our hearts are broken, but she is doing fantabulous. She's got a wonderful yard. She's got new friends now.
Tell them that she's with my daughter.
Yes, she is with Kurt. I was gonna say that right now. Oh my goodness, he wants to be involved, guys. Look at him back there all by himself.
I want you to know she's with family.
She is with family. She's okay. We didn't just give her away. It's with Kurt's daughter, Conley. We are very grateful. She loves Rigby. Rigby loves her. And Conley has 3 cats and 3 chickens, and Rigby loves the cats, particularly one. They are becoming best friends every day. She gets her walks every day, and I have confirmed that she still gets Pancake Sunday. So we are not sure if this is a forever thing. We're not sure if it's a temporary thing. Right now, it is the best decision because of all of the traveling that we're going to be doing. But rest assured, we will be giving you updates on Rigby as we get them. We will be giving you guys videos and as much information on her health and how she's doing. All I'm hoping is that now that I've let the cat out of the bag, that my subscriber count doesn't go down. Or I look at the view time of the video and as soon as this spot hits, it just goes, woo! We're still gonna give you guys good content. Rigby still lives in all of our hearts, and she will always be remembered as the dog who swam with dolphins. We love you, Rigby, and we're sure gonna miss you on the boat. And that's a fish! Wow, what an ending! You lost it! You
false alarm, guys. I don't know, whatever it was small, and I think because it was small, it popped off. But I've got everything out today. I'm trying really hard to catch a fish. We have not had any luck today, but I've got a Rapala out here on this line. I have a hand line down here that I'm dragging a cedar plug, and then on the other reel, I've got a little squid lure. So I've got a little bit of everything out there. I've got all my gear working, and just haven't had any luck. That one was, it didn't go screaming out, so like I said, it didn't sound like anything big, and then it just popped right off. So I'm gonna put it back in the water and try one more time.
We're sailing, so there's going to be some noise. You can hear the splashing, you can hear the creaking of the lines.
But it's really nice and peaceful up here, and we're enjoying the shade.
Yeah, we're hiding.
Yeah, we've gotten enough sun today.
Yes.
We felt like it was time to kind of catch you up on what's been going on. We did do a live YouTube video, and it's up if you want to go and see it, but it is pretty lengthy. So for those of you who didn't see it, we're going to give you a quick recap of where we've been and what we've been up to over the past, what, 6, 8 months? Jeez.
Half of 2023.
Yeah, we went offline for a while.
Yeah.
And
it needed to be done.
Yeah, we had a lot of things going on. But yeah, to give you a quick recap of what we were doing, first, I guess we finished our last season, our last episode on a long sail to Belize.
Yeah.
And when we got to Belize, we actually had a really good time there. We had family come in. My family came and chartered another boat with the moorings, and we were able to go island hopping with them and really enjoy ourselves, just have a vacation. It was a lot of fun. We got to raft up to their boat, and we got to do some snorkeling, and even after they left, we continued kind of island hopping around, and even Linda tried her hand out at diving.
I did try my hand out at diving, but throughout that whole time in Belize, that's kind of when we started feeling a little bit of that burnout for recording and stuff. So we got some footage, but yeah, we
didn't get enough footage for an episode because we were on vacation.
Yeah, we were having a good time.
And that kind of led us up to a big pause on the videos, because from Belize, we then went on to Rio Dulce, Guatemala, which is known for being a decent hurricane hole during the hurricane season.
Yeah, you go through some really cool mountains and cut through a river, and then you get tucked inside a bay, and it was
it's a nice
really pretty.
It's a freshwater lake up in Guatemala that gives you really good protection from the hurricanes, because you're miles and miles from the coast. And it's also known for being a place that people go to get a lot of boat work done, and we had some projects that we needed to knock out.
Right.
So that's what we did. We went and we got into a boatyard. We hauled out and took care of some projects that we had kind of piling up, including replacing the rudder bushings.
The dagger board.
We worked on the dagger board. We worked on our powered winch. We worked on galvanizing the anchor and the chain. We polished the boat. We did another bottom paint. We changed our logo and put some new stickers and graphics on the boat. We did a lot of things, but
we didn't film any of it.
Well, we didn't film it. We didn't really film anything of that. But the reason we didn't film anything is because I kind of like to refer that as the summer of darkness. Because not only did we go dark on the videos, but it was dark for us too. I was in the boat yard alone. Yeah. We had kind of burnt out on the videos, but we kind of burnt out on ourselves as
each
well.
other.
It was one of those things where, you know, you've been together, you're together for a long time, and you start to take each other for granted. Yeah. You start to just not really appreciate each other. And so we took the summer to do some work on ourselves, to really soul search, and it was good for us.
I think so.
It was real good for us. So Linda went and visited friends.
Yeah, and family.
Yeah, and I worked on the boats.
Guatemala wasn't all that dark.
No, we did enjoy ourselves there. After Linda did come back to the boat, when we were about to splash the boat, we did take a week. Was it a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was a long time. But
we went
were
interior.
Tourists.
Yeah, we went interior, and we enjoyed the country of Guatemala, which was way prettier than I thought it was going to be.
Gorgeous,
that
you
is
guys.
a beautiful country.
I'll tell you, if there's a place where you're like, where's a magical place to go to that's not so expensive, that isn't quite popular, but I'm gonna have a great, unforgettable experience, you gotta tour Guatemala. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Highlight of the year.
I think the highlight, well, we saw a lot of highlights, but I think the highlight of our trip was when we stayed in this little cottage up on the top of a mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And then we toured, we hiked down to some waterfalls.
Oh,
the water
my
was so
gosh.
blue, and
It
the
was-
mountains were so beautiful. It was really nice.
It was good.
So yeah, that was one highlight of
But
Guatemala.
then, yeah, the rest was dark. So then we had a powwow, had a long conversation. Our friends and family were starting to ask, you guys all started to ask, what's going on? Did you die? Did you sell the boat? Are you not sailing anymore? Where are the videos? And here we are.
We decided to keep them going, yes, because now we're sailing again.
Yes.
And we've been out of Guatemala for a little while now. We left Guatemala and sailed to Isla Mujeres, and then we took off back to the States to spend the holidays.
That's right, yeah.
We had not been to the States to really see family and friends in a long time, so we took a couple of months. And we left the boat in a marina in Isla Mujeres. So that's why it's been so long since we've been on the water and been filming.
Yeah.
And Isla Mujeres was nice, but actually we had a rough start in Isla Mujeres. After an entire summer of working on the boat and polishing it and making it beautiful, I pull up to the marina, and what happens? The guys on the dock, they threw the lines out, pulled us up to the slip that they told us to pull into, and they pulled us right up onto a nail. And the nail gouged the side of our boat through the gel coat down to the fiberglass.
I almost forgot about that.
Oh my God!
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. Luckily, the marina was very nice and professional, and they fixed the job for us. They did a great job fixing the gel coat. They did that for us for free.
Yeah.
But then right after that, we went to sleep after a long hard passage. We went to sleep, and we were woken up in the middle of the night by
fire. There was a fire on the dock. I got up. Rigby, thank goodness, was up. She was making funny noises, so I get up, I look outside, it looked like it was a flashlight, bright orange. I pop my head out the window. It's a fire, y'all.
We had 2 power cords connected together because we were a long way from the pedestal, and where they were connected together, it had too much resistance. The wires had gone bad, the connections had gone bad, and that resistance created heat and started a fire.
There's obviously no video of that, but I think I have a picture
well,
somewhere.
it's a good thing there was no video of that, because when she said fire, I went running outside with a blanket, buck naked, and but I got the fire out. I switched off the power, threw the blanket over the fire, put it out before there was any damage, and we got it taken care of. But
you did.
that was a rough start to our trip to Isla Mujeres. And now we're on the seas again, and it feels great.
Yeah, all those troubles are being, every kilometer, every nautical mile that's passing us, we're feeling lighter and lighter, and we're getting more and more excited of what lies ahead. And right now what lies ahead is Florida. We're provisioning, we're getting everything ready to go to the Bahamas, try to get there as fast as we can, and whatever we don't get done before the hurricane season, I'm making you take me back and get it done after the hurricane season.
I think that pretty much catches us up to where we are today.
Yeah, babe, it's, I lied. I'm really I think it's time to get out of here. The sun's going down.
It's getting breezy.
It's breezy, so bye!
We'll see you guys.